So you know what the day is. Today is Friday. And you know what we do on Fridays? Go for no on Fridays. So you know what I did this morning? Woke up probably about 4 o'clock. Couldn't get back to sleep, so I read through a bunch of stuff out of the Bible about the vessels. We're supposed to be, the importance of the vessels, people as vessels, pouring into people as vessels. Recognizing that I'm just a vessel. And that sometimes, I was listening to my boy Bob Proctor today too. He was saying that, sometimes he was talking about, I think it was Edison. Yeah, maybe it was Edison. He said they sent a note home, the teacher sent a note home, said, look, we can't teach him that. He can't learn what we're learning. Don't bring him back to school. And the fact of it is, he said, it's not that, he said educational systems now want to put stuff into people. He said what teachers need to be doing is showing how to get stuff out of people. Because we come into this world already financed by God with all that we want. We come in already rich, is what he said. He said we come in with all the energy that we need already available at all times. We just have to know how to tap into it to release that energy. He said that's what teachers are for. It's showing people how to release that energy. So I'm sitting in this little comfortable chair. It's a little bit different, you know what I'm saying? So what I did today, I said, you know what, today go for no. I'm sitting here on vacation. Let's just grab the book. Man, I thumbed through, read the whole book. Nice read, very nice read. I did highlight and dog ear a couple of pages in here. And this page right here was, the mission was to see how many people they could repeat the message to every day. Hey, you don't want to give me a free cupcake, do you? It's a classic example. Hey, just ask it straight. He'd say that's what basically he was telling them to do. Something that really lets them off the hook. It's just a trick. It's just a tweak of the words to release pressure on you that, hey, look, I'm going for the no. I want them to say no. And they said, sure, I'll give you a cupcake. I did that the other day. I went for the no. I went for the no, man. She gave it to me, yeah. Ordinarily, I wouldn't have went for it. But I was just thinking about one of my coworkers that has practiced this go for no to a high level. We're talking pro level type stuff. And I'm saying pro level, I'm talking about NBA, that type of pro level. So I be watching his move, picking his brain, observing, asking him questions. And one of the things he always said is say, man, look, you always take the shot. No matter what, you got the ball, you got an opportunity, go ahead and take the shot. You might miss, but if somebody's on my team and they don't take the shot, they're going on the bench. That's what he said. He said, you always take the shot. Just throw it up. You never know. Because once he gets up there, you never know when your team, it may go in, one of your teammates may be there, and he may do an alley-oop on the thing. He may just tip it back in, or we get the rebound, go right back up with it. Or the guy fouls you and you go to the free throw line. That's what he said. I always take the shot. So this always sticking in my head. See, what I'm doing now is I'm going up to this door and I'm knocking, but on Wednesdays I'm seeking. I'm looking for evidence. I'm looking for proof. I'm looking for evidence for my case that this stuff really, really works. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking, and that's what you should be looking for. And on Fridays, going for no, what I decided to do is just go ahead and dig into an area that I hadn't dug into, getting back on my website, getting that up and running, came up with a nice little outline. Changing the perspective, changing the why, the motive. Pierre Mason always say, man, I hope you got a good motive. That's what he said about the Lord. The Lord always looked at your motives. I know you could talk a good game. This intellect, it can tell you a lot of stuff to kind of tweak stuff to the right way. But if it ain't going, you got to ask yourself another question. Sometimes we want to ask ourselves another question because we really don't want to know the answer. We really want to go ahead and do the thing that we want to do. So we may ask one or two questions, and those questions are leading questions, leading into the direction I want to go in. You see what I'm saying? But, that was one of the things I had to do. I got to go in and look at the motive. Okay, what's the motive? What are you really trying to do? Are you really trying to pour in the vessels? Are you really trying to pour in the vessels? Or are you really trying to get some out of the vessels? That's the key thing. That's the key thing. It's all about that perspective. And he said, and this my boy Bob said, he said, man, once you make the decision, he said, this guy said, man, I need money for a house. He said, for what? He said, because we want to buy a house. He said, you don't need money for a house for wanting to buy a house. You get the money for the house when you decide to buy the house. We're buying a house. He said, that's when the resources come, when you make the decision inside. See, a lot of people have not because they act not inside. They act with the wrong motive, and they act amiss so they can consume the resources on themselves and satisfy their own lusts. It's out of the Bible. Yeah, you ask not because you have not, or you're asking amiss. See, we could be asking, but it could be amiss, meaning that it ain't matching up to what's going on the inside. See, that hidden agenda, that hidden motive, that scarcity mentality that's been programmed into us. It's what the teachers put into us. We got to get that stuff out so we can show our true colors shining through. Well, they just came out, you know what I'm saying? That's the true me. That's what I do. I roll like that. I can't sing that good, but I could if I wanted to. If I put my mind to it and put some things in place, guess what? I can do it. And it's another thing that I learned too, just listening to. It was in this book as well, but also in Jonathan Livingston Seagull, that our bodies, that was Bob Proctor, that our bodies is our thought. That's what he was saying. The body can do so much more based on the thought. He said, being that conduit of that energy. He said, that's the thing you got to realize. The energy is equal to all people at all times. It's always available, always has been available. It's just learning how to tap into it, how to use it, and how to direct it is what you got to do. And so that's why I'm going to be listening on the way back. Day 3 of my boy Bob Proctor on the paradigm shift, shifting the paradigm. He call it paradigm. My boy Tony Robbins call it identity. What's your true identity? Can you change that? You can do it. You can do it in an instant. He say a lot of these POWs at one time, the Koreans or something, Chinese or something, got a lot of people to collaborate, Americans to collaborate with them, but they did it through getting them to identify with something else and the power of consistency that was driven in us to perform in society. We want to be consistent. Because if you ain't consistent, then people say you wishy-washy. But if you wishy-washy and you ain't consistent, then people, you're going to feel some resistance against that because people don't want you to change. Some people don't want you to change. Others people do. I mean, if you performing pretty well, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people come in and want to change it, but you don't want to change. But then when you try and change for something better, then they want you to stay the same. Let's say, for example, that, when you and your spouse got together, y'all was smoking and drinking. And you say, you know what, I'm through with this smoking and drinking. I'm done with it. Well, she may not be done with it, see? She don't want you to change. Or he wouldn't want you to change because he's still smoking and drinking. And for you to change, then for some reason, and this is the thing you got to look at now, just going back to yesterday, don't make assumptions, don't take everything personally. Them being upset, it has nothing to do with you changing not to smoke or drink. It's that they are doing something, it is their perception. They're trying to project that on you. You know, I've done that for a little while. You know, me and my wife, you know, she was saying that I, you know, blamed her for a lot of stuff. I probably did. I know I did. But I'm trying to change that perception. You know, I hadn't done that in a long, long time. That's because of where I was. It was easy for me to cast that blame off. There was a defense mechanism to deflect that off. But now, after building this habit muscle up, after renewing my mind, I'm understanding if I'm getting impeccable with my word, I'm not taking things personally, I'm not making assumptions, and I'm doing my best, guess what? I don't have to deflect because I was impeccable with my word from the jump. And I'm doing my best in every single area, so I can't take that personally. You see what I'm saying? But I can continue on. That's what I'm doing. I'm knocking on these doors. Each one of these doors, I'm knocking on them. We got to keep moving forward. Like my boy Bob said, he said it's not acquiring things. The mindset, sometimes I think the devil kind of perverts the thing, the gift. He perverts the gift. What the devil does, my pastor said, is that he's a perverter of gifts. Since God is doing this, he perverts what God has set up, just pervert it just a little bit. Oh yeah, you can do that. Well, he set this up where we shouldn't do. No. And the way I run things, you come on this side, man, you can do all that stuff. You can do all that stuff, man. Don't worry about it, man. Just take care of yourself, number one. Don't worry about no consequences. Man, that take care of itself down the road. And they used to think, let's have fun right now. But he said he kind of perverts the thing. You see what I'm saying? He said we were put on this earth for growth and creation. The devil comes in and perverts that to accumulation of things and stuff. He said now we're trying to get things versus create things. Or when we creating things or growing, we got that mixed up with accumulation and expansion that way by gathering more stuff versus growing. You see what I'm saying? He was saying that sometimes you get caught up in materialism, getting things, getting 5 and 10 cars, getting several houses, getting a lot of money stacked up. But it was never supposed to be about that. Those were just tools. Those were just fruits. That I shouldn't be focusing on the fruit. I should be focusing on the root. Because everybody know you can't make peaches. I don't care what you say. If I say, man, let's go make some peaches, you're going to look at me like, man, how the world you make peaches? You can't make no peaches. What you talking about? Obviously, what you talking about? You can't make no peaches. So if I can't make peaches, can I make money? Is that the same thing? Then they going to say, oh, that's different though. That's different. Is it? It's not different. It's the same. And once we understand that, that's where we'll be. We'll understand that it is the same. I'm on the same track. I'm trying to understand that what's good for the goose is good for the gander. The Lord is no respecter of person. That all the power and resources are available at all times to all people. No exceptions. I know there's some other places on the earth, man, that, you know, but guess what? The power is available to them as well, too. Somebody got to tell them, do they? The person never get told. I mean, what can they do? They still, see, here's the deal. They still connected. Even if nobody tells them, you get an inward sense of the direction you need to be going in. You get an inward sense of that. I think that's what you get. The intuition. It's an inward sense that, hey, look, man, I probably need to be going in this direction. Sincerely. I mean, it is. I mean, once you get to a certain age, even as a kid, you know, I got kids, man, they rocking and rolling, man. My niece said we underestimate kids. We put limitations on them. I mean, kids, man, if you just let them go, they gonna grow. We're the ones that put the limitations on them, want to treat them like kids. But we just let them grow and experience and stuff. As long as we keep them out of harm's way, man, they'll grow exponentially. There's kids running companies, man. There's kids running businesses and stuff like that. You know? They knocking on doors, they ain't scared. They getting them no's. So tomorrow we're gonna come up with another plan, another area that I hadn't got some no's in is coming up with that, really sitting down with this plan of what they call it, tracking. The reason you don't want to track, man, you don't want to write stuff down because then the ego site can't erase it. Can't cover its tracks because I've written it down. Can't do a head fake on you because it's written down and we tracking it. It don't want me to do it. That's why it's fighting it. It don't want me to track it. That's why every time I think about tracking, it brings up all these other emotions that come up, and the next thing you know, you want to go and eat a cupcake. Yeah, I know. It's got to change. It's got to change. It's going to change. It already has changed because I'm the new person. How the person I want to be do the thing I'm about to do. And you know what I'm finna do. I'm finna do it to it. That's what I'm finna do. So since you know what I'm finna do, you know what you need to do. You do it to that like, do it to that thumbs up, man, you know the drill. Do it to your life. And do it to it. But hey, check out, man. I'm finna put the outline up, man. Hey, man, I just came up with the meaty. Finna go up, man. We talking about renovating habit. We in the renovation business now, baby. Talking about flipping houses, we flipping habits. Let's do that. Let's flip habits, man. Let's do that. I like it. Let's go write that down too. Peace out.